This next problem, we are still going to use the same reaction, but now we're looking for delta G. We are given that delta G is equal to negative NFE, where F is 96,500 joules per volume. Well, we know that the equation delta G will be equal to negative N, the number of moles of electron, F, which is Faraday's 96,500, and this is a constant, and the cell potential. We figured out the cell potential in a previous problem, and we knew that it was 2 volts. And we also figured out the number of moles of electron in a previous problem, which was 6. It was 6 because we had the 2 half-life reactions, which were 3Cu2 plus going to 3Cu, and 2Al going to 2Al 3 plus. Okay, so we would now add the electrons. The reason we don't add the electrons on this side is because it would make it negative, and this is already 0, so we want them to be equal to each other. This is 2 plus and this is 0. The only way we could make them equal to each other was adding 2 negatives, which would make the 0. So this would be overall 0, overall 0. And on this side, the charge was on this side, so we would have to cancel out that charge with 3 electrons to give it the same thing as 0. And we are still not done with the half-lives. We always want them to match up to each other, the electrons. So in this case, we would multiply it by 3, and in this case, we would multiply it by 2. So then the electrons shared would be 6, and 6 over here. You would have to multiply 3 by all of this, and 2 by all of this. The electrons shared would be 6. So now we can plug into our equation. We have delta G is equal to negative N, negative moles of electrons. Delta G is equal to negative moles of electrons, which are 6, times Faraday's constant, which is 96,500, and this is in joules, times the cell potential, which we had found in a previous problem, which is 2. So here, delta G would be equal to negative 1,158,000 joules. To write this in a simpler form, we would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be negative 1.158. This would all depend on the number of significant figures they're asking you for, times 10 to the 6 joules. So this would be your delta G, what we are looking for.